What's happening, people? Welcome back to Park Lane Podcast, episode number 56. Oh my days, absolute limbs last night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as we ran out 2-1 winners over Liverpool. And the only thing I can say is shove your VAR up your ass. But before we get into it, do not forget to like the video. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you're listening on any podcast platform, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Too many of you are still not subscribed, but are watching the videos. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. We'll give a shout out to everyone in the chat to start off with. So we've got Barney, evening lads. And we've got Jay saying, evening lads, loving Ange Ball, aren't we all? And I'm joined by my regular co-host, Wynnie. How you doing, mate?
I'm jubilant, mate. It's we've got a lot to discuss, even though it's only one game, because there's a lot happened yesterday. But the drama just continues, doesn't it? It never stops. But I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Exactly. Just like Spurs, we're here till the bitter end, aren't we? But Harry, how you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. I'm looking forward to getting into it. I was there myself, so it's great to be there. Just kind of got my voice back today, which is a relief because I was a bit worried this morning when I couldn't speak. But it's got better over the day. Rested and it's all good now. But yeah, what an evening! Just good to see Tottenham rattling another fan base another week. We move on.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Dave, how you doing, buddy? You good?
I'm good, mate. I just want to point out one thing. Wynnie, what are you drinking? Who do they sponsor?
No, mate, I totally agree, but
get that off his channel. I'm good, boys. It was a mad one yesterday. I think my whole household were woken up by me screaming. My wife just sent me laughing emojis telling me she loves me because she thought it was hilarious. I was swear effing and blinding, then cheering. It was a mad one.
Oh, mate, it was absolute scenes. Shout out to Johnny as well, saying hello to my guys. And, he couldn't resist, could he? Saying bitter end for Liverpool. Credit more to the referees and Spurs, I'd say, along with ever since.
Yeah, I've been having the longest bath ever in all them Liverpool fan tears today, so it's been great.
Exactly. So let's get on to the game from last night. So 5:30 kickoff. Tottenham against Liverpool. Never an easy fixture for us. I think they said the last time we won against Liverpool was like 2018 or something. So
yeah, it was 2017.
Yeah, against Wembley. So it was about time we got a victory. And I do talk a lot of shit, but it was one of the things that I said. And one of my good mates actually, who started this channel originally with me, Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, I had him on absolute strings over the week because during the pre-match show, I had a go at Liverpool's midfield, and it turns out that he was tuned in only for that small segment, and then sent me a message saying, "I'm sure you're going to regret that." And then today's messages have been, I can't even go into it to be honest, but big up to Ben if he is hiding somewhere underneath a rock. Better late than never. Kallum's here.
Good evening.
Kallum.
Good evening. Yeah, guys, how you doing?
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, sorry I'm late. Internet decided it wanted to be stubborn like Liverpool's defence last night.
Amazing. Let's have a quick review then, guys. Let's go around the houses. Quick review of everyone's thoughts on the game yesterday. We'll go into all the talking points, so we don't have to go into too much detail. But Kallum, as you were last, you can go first. So give me your thoughts on the game in general.
A difficult game. I think it was definitely a bit tighter than I would have liked it to be honest, mate. And I have to take my hat off and say that Liverpool were very good defensively. Alisson had one of the best games I've seen him have in a long time. And I can't discredit them, to be honest. They were very strong. And it might have been our lack of clinicalness that made it a little bit more nervous than I would have liked it to be. But no, I mean, apart from their two sending off, they actually played well. They probably were the better team in the first half, at least, I would have said. And then we kind of just battered them and battered them and battered them, but couldn't find a way through until that magical own goal.
Yeah, exactly. Winnie, what are your thoughts on the game? Do you agree with Kallum? Do you think they had the better of the first half?
I mean, if I'm honest, I think it was fairly even all over. To be fair, until obviously the inevitable happened towards the end, and it was only. I mean, if I'm honest, I think it was a bit of an onslaught when they went down to 9 men, but it was a bit too a bit too much of the ball and a bit too a few more attacks than I would have liked against 10 men. I felt like we should have been a bit more dominant, but yeah, it's like you say, it's a fixture that we haven't won since 2017. So and you've only got to look as far back as a couple of seasons ago, and we had the horrendous decisions go against us, etc., etc. So look, it was they fought well, really, really well for a team down with 9 men, but it's a typical thing that it's much more difficult to play against 10 men, even more so 9 men, because they just get all of them behind the ball. So it was we won. That's the most important thing, mate.
Yeah, definitely. And Harry, it's interesting, watching a Liverpool side park the bus, and try and hit us on the counter-attack for the majority of the game when a certain Mr. Klopp decided to tell us that's not how you play football, and that maybe we should try playing it differently a few years ago. So it's interesting, isn't it, when the tables turn?
Yeah, it is. It's funny how, you say something that suits his agenda. But at the same time, I can understand why they went defensive, 9 men. And they look at us and go, out of anything, what are we going to struggle to do? And that is playing against a team that parks the bus. And to be fair to Liverpool, I think they defended exceptionally and nearly got what would have been an amazing point, 2 points gained. A point gained out of the game. So they nearly got over the line. I'm glad they didn't. It depends which way you look at it. I thought the game was good. It was very tight. I personally thought we looked good. Equally, Liverpool as well defensively and on the counter. It's a very tight game. That overall we were slightly better, regardless of how many players you have on the pitch. That's nothing to do with us. We only beat what's in front of us. We have nothing to do with the referees' decisions. As far as I'm concerned, very, very important win because Liverpool are seen as title contenders. And we beat them, and you all know that sometimes it's harder to play 9 or 10 men because that's not something you prepare in training. And you've got, instead of having 4-5 men behind the ball, they did with 11 men, they had 9 men behind the ball. So for me, anyway, it was a lot harder, and we've done really well. Great resilience again. Another late victory, so it just shows why you stay to the end of a football match. Amazing scenes. But as far as Klopp goes, hypocritical. He has his picture of him next to it in the dictionary.
Amazing. You can have people DMing you all kinds of stuff after that, Harry. So prepare yourself.
Don't worry.
and Dave, it shows real resilience, doesn't it, from a side? People can talk about playing against 9 men. We should have scored more goals. We should have won the game, etc., etc. But it does show real resilience of a team, especially a Spurs team, to keep going, and get that one chance. Okay, it was an own goal, but if Matip doesn't score, I think Valise is at the back post anyway. But it shows a lot of character from this side, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's nice, mate. It's becoming a common theme, which is really nice. And the other day, if you want to go places, you've got to be resilient and be able to keep pushing on till the bitter end. And that's something that I'm seeing in this Tottenham team, a bit of fight. We're obviously loving big handball. And as for the VAR stuff, I don't really care. Liverpool had the rubber green against us for God knows how long. Sissoko and ball, Robertson, with a leg break tackle a couple of seasons ago, Skippy getting kicked in the head last season or season before, whatever it was. So you know what? Cry more. I don't care. All you Liverpool little bitches can piss off.
Fair enough. Harry was a little bit more dignified, but always count on you, Dave.
Dave says it how it is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we love him. So, Harry, I'll come to you, because he seems to be your favourite Spurs player, bar Højbjerg, I suppose. But we saw Richarlison in the starting lineup, and I pretty much would say most of us thought he was going to play through the middle. But when kickoff comes, he's playing out on the left. And do you know what? I'll give credit where credit's due. He played well. He played really well. there was that chance in the first half where he whipped it across the front post and Kulusevski, didn't dive in at the back post to stick it in. He got an assist for Son for his goal. And I thought, his touch isn't always the best, I don't think, but I thought he was, really good. What are your thoughts on him yesterday?
Yeah, I thought he was actually really good. Probably his best performance for me of the season. Maybe Sheffield United, you could argue, he's cameo off the bench, but in terms of consistency for a large period of the game, that's got to be up there. It's really good. I think he caused the Liverpool backline all kinds of problems. Although sometimes for me, that final pass, that final bit of quality wasn't always there when needed, or would make the wrong decision. It's frustrating, but the intent was there, the effort was there. And the quality as the game went on, he just had a really, really key role. And I just think I think he is the more effective of the front three yesterday for me. So I thought he's really good. So yeah, long may this continue. Well, you've obviously got Perisic out, so if you get one more injury at that position, I will worry. But yeah, Richarlison looked good yesterday. Very, very impressed. A lot better. Mute. Every time.
You're still muted, Luke, mate. We can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, I'm back. Anyway, just a shout out to Kirk. He's my mate, so thought I'd give him a shout out, but then turns out I was muted anyway, so he didn't get it. Anyway, what do you think of Richarlison? Do you think he's got a role on that left-hand side? Or do you feel when Solomon came on, he's a better choice on that left-hand side?
If you'd have asked me a couple of weeks ago, I'd have said Solomon was by far the better choice. But when he came on yesterday, he kind of disappointed me. And I don't know if it was because we were just, normally you have one or two attacks every, 10, 15 minutes. But there was just a barrage of attacks. So he had to probably be on the ball a bit more often than he would do. But look, Richarlison there's definitely a player in there. I've always, I wouldn't say I've always liked him, but he's a player that you can admire when he plays for your side. You look at him, he never used to be prolific for Everton, but he'd always be making the headlines, whether he's done something stupid possibly, but most of the time it would be scored a good couple of goals or got an assist or done something, so I don't think he's a central striker. I think, once again, Sonny has proved that he needs to be down the middle. He's far more effective down the middle than he is on the wing, where he started the season. So that needs to continue. But if Richarlison is out on the left, I mean, judging by yesterday against a difficult opposition, I thought he done really well. His assist for Sonny was good, especially for someone who used his opposite foot to the wing that he was on. It was decent. So I think that there's a player in there, and hopefully he's started to gain a little bit of confidence, because that's all it is. It's just confidence. When a player doesn't have confidence, he plays shit, and that's what he's been doing. So if he can gain confidence, but by all means, I'll happily stick him out on the left hand side.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a good issue to have, I think. But move on, kind of 10 minutes into the game, again, Dave, we kind of started a little bit sloppy, I felt at times. The passing was a little bit better, and Liverpool didn't press us as much as I thought they should have done. But Vicario was forced into a double save quite early on. And I don't know if you saw Romano's tweet today saying that Spurs are really happy with Vicario and that the actual figure is looking like 19 million euros, which to me seems an absolute bargain. At his age, and I felt like his shot stopping yesterday was as good as it has been, especially that double save from Gakpo and then Robertson.
Do you know what? Right, the thing about Vic is when he first signed for us, he had them first couple of pre-season games. Everybody was slating him.
Yeah,
me and you had a back and forth when he did it about it. We said that it's total bullshit that people are writing him off already after a couple of pre-season games.
Exactly.
I'll be honest with you, he's been absolutely solid. He has been solid. His shot stopping is ridiculous. His distribution is good. He's good with his feet. And for somebody who he's a typical Ange player, a player who's had to climb up the ranks from lower leagues or whatever to be able to play at the highest level. So he appreciates it a lot more. But no, I'm very, very happy with him. I'm very happy we got Vicario over Raya. I remember Gigi Buffon did an interview before the season, saying he was most excited to watch Vicario because he thinks he's going to be at least number one. So it's an interesting one, mate. It's like, I think people are crazy to write him off so early. I think he's proven his weight in gold. 19 million in this day and age is an absolute snip. I give Daniel Levy a lot of stick, but that's one thing I will give him credit for, because that is an absolute steal in my eyes.
Yeah, 100%. I think, especially as I said earlier, with his young age as well, goalkeepers peak in their mid-30s, early 30s. So he's still got years and years for him to improve as well. And he looks so much more assured than Lloris does with the ball at his feet, man. Oh my God. What
was the game last? Sorry, just very quick. What was the game last season? When was it? Newcastle, where Lloris just kicked the ball up at Newcastle twice in a row. And we were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Mick wouldn't do that. He hasn't got that. No. I haven't seen anything about that.
No, definitely not. Kallum, we'll come to you to talk about the first, potential decision of the game. 25 minutes in, and Curtis Jones gets sent off after the referee goes over to VAR, to decide whether it was a red card or not. In our group chat, you said, I'm not sure if that's a penalty. Looks harsh. Do you still think that?
Well, it's not a penalty, mate, because it couldn't be any part.
A red card, yes.
Bit far out from the box there, Luke, mate.
No, the reason why I was quite sceptical on it, because obviously the rulings are different this year to how they've been previously. So when you think about it, his boot was high. He went on to Bissouma's pretty much his shin, and the only reason why I said it was debatable was because obviously when you look at it, he went to play the ball, his foot went on top of the ball instead of into the ball, and that's why it went onto Bissouma's shin. But yeah, it's one of them where obviously 50-50, but 50% of people say it is, 50% of people say it isn't. So that's why he went. He just got red. It happened.
Okay, Kallum, can I tell you why I think it was a red? Because it doesn't have to be deliberate. It doesn't have to have intent. It just has to be out of control and could cause serious injury to the other player. If Bissouma's leg's planted, he snaps his leg in two. The reality of it is, if Romero makes that tackle, he's slated for days. Oh, he's done it again. He's done it again. He's done it again. That's the problem. At the end of the day, it's a red card. Yeah, it's not deliberate. He didn't deliberately go over the top of the ball, but he's mistimed it. He's gone over the top of the ball. He's caught Bissouma in a very dangerous place. Bissouma's legs are planted. He breaks his leg. It's out of control. Red card.
Yeah.
Definitely. And Winnie, do you agree with that? Because my angle on it is very similar to Dave's, and he is out of control because he can't control the ball. And everybody's saying, "Oh, well, he slips, his foot slips on the ball, which then takes him into Bissouma's leg." That shows you don't have control over the ball. He's stretching. He's really trying. What do you think about that?
It's in my opinion, someone who I play football every week. It's a stonewall red card. I don't think there's any debate. And I know people are out there debating it. There is no debate. Just alluding to what Dave said, regardless, I don't believe for 1 second that Jones went out there to hurt Bissouma. Of course he didn't. However, he was out of control. He didn't have control of the ball for a start. It was a very, very reckless tackle. I don't believe he meant to do it. But given the laws, a couple of years ago, you might have got away with something like that. But this day and age, with VAR looking at it as well, there's no way you're getting away with it. And we've seen it happen. I'd like to obviously allude to the Emerson Royale one against Arsenal, but even that was completely different, and we were contesting that. That's a completely different scenario. But this one is literally he's caught Bissouma on his shin. I don't see how anyone can sit there and argue it. It's stonewall red for me.
Yeah, definitely. And H, you were there live. did you see instantly that it was a bad tackle, or was it not until replays were shown on the screen?
Yeah, nobody saw it, and it was shock horror around the stadium, and a really like negative and appalled reaction when we saw it slow mo on the big screen. And I'm sorry, but Wynnie, David spot on. I mean, Dave talks a lot of garbage 99% of the time, but in this situation, I do agree with him. Sorry, Dave, I had to put that in. His leg's halfway up his leg, like when he says on his shin, it's a potential leg breaker. Of course he didn't. I don't think he meant it at all. But he's out of control. Like when he says again, he hasn't got the ball, and you just can't do that because Basuma does something else with his leg, plants his leg. He's in real trouble and potential even career-ending injury. So for me, it's a clear red. We need to see them given. So yeah, I don't understand the protest about that. But no, didn't see it live, but saw it on the big screen, and it just didn't look good. So I'm just glad Basuma seems at the moment to be okay.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny said Royals was 60% of red. This one, 80%. So fair enough. Johnny, I'm not ignoring you, by the way, in the chat. You're just talking a lot.
Oh, no, I'm going to come back to Johnny. Don't worry. Wait till you get to me. I've seen Johnny's comments. I'm ready. I'm primed.
Later,
I'm primed. Stay there, Johnny.
And Jay in the chat has said defo a red for me. We'll move on to the opening goal. So 36 minutes in. I'll come back to you, Harry. Madison gets the ball in midfield. At this point, everyone, I think, is thinking we can go on and really win this game. Madison puts a through ball to Richarlison, who just squares it across the box, and really simple goal for Heung-min Son. But 1-0 up. What are you thinking at the stadium?
Oh, amazing. Amazing reaction. First goal live, seeing Ange. It was a really well conducted move. Very happy for Rishi in particular, but it was an overall great move. Just on the back of that red card as well. A lot of belief inside the stadium we can go on and win. And at the time, being honest with you, probably, although it's understandable, perhaps we didn't in the end, I had the feeling that we could maybe push on and really take the game away from Liverpool. We didn't do that. That's fine because we got the 3 points. But yeah, the feeling around the stadium was at an all-time high at that time, in an evening kickoff as well. The atmosphere was fantastic. The ball hit the back of the net. So yeah, it was fantastic, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny has said here, wasn't the Liverpool goal first? What happened to that one in chronologically of decency?
It wasn't a goal, mate.
Yeah, we can go on to that. So, Dave, I'll come to you and talk about Cody Gakpo's offside, which wasn't offside. Look, mistakes are made. They happen in every game. It happens. Who cares? That's the way I look at it.
You asking me?
No, Dave.
Yeah, so the thing about it is the actual free kick they got from that, Udogie actually won the ball from Gakpo. Do you remember? So the reality of it is, if that free kick's not given, they don't have a contentious offside and they don't have a goal. So mistake was made both sides. Tottenham's the mistake was made because Udogie's wasn't a foul. He got booked for it as well. And the second one, look, come on, it's a terrible offside decision. I even said in our group chat, that's offside. Straight away, as soon as they scored, I was like, that don't look off. When they gave it off, obviously we know about the communication breakdown now or whatever else. But like I said to you, they're called Liverpool for a reason because they get the rub of the green so many times, so often, so frequently. It's happened against us, like I've mentioned 3 times earlier on today. Robertson, Skip, that horrid challenge. Skip getting kicked in the head, and you talk about the worst one, the most painful, Champions League final. So it's about time. And the thing is, all I'm seeing all day is Liverpool cry. Like Johnny said, you can't say cry more. We're Tottenham fans, Johnny, right? We are Spurs fans. We are so used to being hated by every single club there is, every single fan base there is, being mocked about lack of trophies or being mocked for bottle and things like that. But when things like this happen to other teams, are we not allowed to enjoy it ourselves? Are we not allowed to go, you know what, it's nice to get the rub of the green sometimes. It's nice to get a bit of luck sometimes. Something's happening at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium right now. There's a really good feel-good factor. And has brought a real positive mentality to the team. We're just buzzing and we're enjoying it. None of us are sitting there thinking we're going to win the league. We're not stupid. But we're sitting there thinking, you know what, for the first time in years, our fan base is actually, pulling in the same direction. We're united. We're something's happening. So, you know what? Like I said to you, yeah, cry more, Liverpool fans. Go back, get your tissues out, cry into your mum's bosom, whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better. The reality of it is, you didn't get the goal, you lost the game. Suck it up and get on with it. We'll get ours one time. That's how it works. Goes around, comes around. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on it.
Yeah, definitely. We can look at you know, loads of points, right? We can look at, you know, Lucas Moura falling over, and, you know, handball in the ball. We can look at Eric Dyer's handball last minute to give a penalty to Newcastle. We can look Champions League final, games ruined within 1 minute from a decision that, you know, has since been changed now, so that would now no longer be a handball. And, you know, and things like that, as you say, Dave, it swings and roundabouts. And, you know, once you get into a mindset where, you know, everything is against you, you'll always believe that, right? But
you know what the thing is, right? Simon Hooper actually didn't have a bad game, apart from that one VAR decision. You know, for the goal, the red card was a red card. The 2 yellows for Jota. The first one is debatable, weren't a foul, but when you are given a yellow, it's on you then to be cautious in the challenges you make. So it's a red card. You know, he gave cards when he was supposed to give cards. He managed the game really well, I thought. The stoppage time wasn't OTT. It was, you know, it was decent. So as far as I'm concerned, he actually didn't have a terrible game. The VAR team let him down for that first goal. Yeah. They said check complete, and he carried on. As soon as the ball is kicked, they can't go back. So it's not his fault. They can sit there and call him a bald egg, and they can sit there and slag him off or whatever else. But the reality of it is, it weren't his fault. It was whoever was in the VAR room making that decision, who didn't pull him back in their 5-second window that you had to do that. So, you know, like I said to you, what goes around comes around. Liverpool have had the rub of the green for a long time. Other clubs get the rub of the green. There's been times when we don't get the rub of the green. Eric Dyer against Newcastle a few years ago, heading the ball into someone's back, you know, or someone heading into his back when he's looking the other way, penalty. Lucas Moura handball, like you mentioned. So, you know what? We've had our fair share of bad luck. We get one little bit of good luck, and all it is it's headline news. It's only headline news because it's Tottenham. Yeah. No one's talking about how Tottenham are unbeaten this season, or, you know, how we've played Arsenal, how we've played Liverpool, how we've played Man United already, and we're still unbeaten. Nobody's talking about those key points, are they? All they want to talk about is refereeing decisions. So stick the refereeing decisions up your arse, get on with it. Forget about it, move on. You know, we're into a new week now. I'm sure it happened to Tottenham at some point in the season. I'll come on there and I'll be mad about it. And you can come back in the chat and say, oh, remember this? And I'll go, yeah, I do. I do remember it. Because it swings and roundabouts. That's what happens in football. Nobody's perfect. Human error exists. Move on.
Spot on.
Well, might as well just end the show there, right? Mic drop moment. Kallum, I'll come to you as you're sitting there, you know, a little bit shocked by all this. And we'll talk about Spurs deciding once they're playing against 10 men, 1-0 up, decided, do you know what, we don't really need to defend anymore. And so we let a really sloppy goal in right before half time, 45+4. And just a long ball to the back post, headed down, and we couldn't clear our lines. And it's 1-1. You're going in at half time thinking, are we going to get beat here today?
I bet that was a kick in the teeth and a half for Andy's half-time talk. So I bet he was literally going to go in there and go, right, keep going, what you're doing well. And then he just had to rip it all up. It was just stupid how you can have dead ball situations like that where it just drops so perfectly for them. It's unbelievable. And the fact that it went through, 5 or 6 different players of ours, all standing on the line and blocking Vicario and all of that. Vicario didn't have a chance, so he's not at fault. It's just all the other idiots that standing around him. And I say idiot in the strongest term because, one, I'm not going to go with Dave's line, but yeah, to be honest, it was just stupidity because we had controlled the game for 10, 12 minutes around there. We had the advantage and we simply didn't bloody take it. We just shot ourselves in the foot, and it actually had a negative effect on us for probably the next half an hour, 40 minutes going forward as well, mate. So, yeah, it was ridiculous, but it was quite funny when Gakpo got injured in the fact he was celebrating the goal. So, kind of do us a favour and then bring on Jota. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Bring on Jota, Wynnie. And then, in the second half, Dave did touch on it. He decided he'd get himself 2 yellow cards. First one, I don't think is a yellow card. I think Doji trips himself. I've seen, actually, I did watch Match of the Day today and saw they zoomed in on his kneecap.
Yeah.
And there could have been a slight touch there.
There was.
I think it's a harsh yellow, but, then he's an idiot and decides to hack down Doji again and gets himself sent off and leaves his team with a mountain to climb.
To be fair though, sorry mate.
No, go on.
When he did come on, he literally looked so far off the pace, it was unbelievable. He didn't look comfortable in that game at all.
Yeah.
He looked like I honestly don't know. He just was running round headless with no control or no composure. And the fact that when he did get sent off, that Klopp wouldn't even acknowledge him meant that Klopp saw that he made a screw up as well. To be honest, with bringing him on when you've got someone like Nunes who actually has some common sense, I guess.
Could have held the ball up, huh?
Oh, yeah. Didn't know.
Yeah, Wynnie, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was just like you say. I think it was just a rush of blood. The first one. I know we talk about it was harsh, but just because it's harsh doesn't mean that it isn't a booking. He's tried to chase Udogie, and yeah, obviously he hasn't intentionally gone and put a foot in, but he's got too close to Udogie in his space, and he has clipped him very, very slightly, but he's clipped him and knocked him off his balance. So. And the second one, it's just mindless. That's the thing is we talk about the first one being harsh. Regardless, look at Udogie, got a very, very early booking. He didn't do anything. He's had that for the last couple of weeks, but he's managed the game and he's managed his mentality and he hasn't done anything stupid. Whereas obviously Jota, on the other hand, he's on a booking and goes diving straight in again. Whether it was a rush of blood, he's come into a game where everyone's up to scratch with the game. It is difficult coming into a game to get up to speed with it, but. It's still stupid, and that's what Liverpool fans need to be concentrating on, that rather than the result and all the decisions that went against them. Ultimately, they've done it to themselves. That Curtis Jones and Jota have put themselves in that position and put their team in that position to be down to 9 men. So it's very, very silly from Jota, and I'm sure Klopp has. I don't know whether he's had his words about it. I'm sure he said they probably both weren't red cards. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure he said that they weren't both red cards because that's something that Klopp will do. But I think secretly he'll be pulling Jota to one side and going, "Look, you don't do that again. I don't care what part of the game, what game you're in. You just be a bit more sensible." So that's what he needs to do.
You know what? All I think about when I think Klopp, disagreeing with red cards. Did anyone seen the meme where they turn him into a tiger? And they put that picture. That's all I see when I can see him like on a touchline arguing about a red card, like that tiger picture. That meme.
Oh, I've seen that. Oh wow!
No, I haven't seen it either.
Have you not seen it? I'll find it for you. Send it in the chat afterwards. It's gold.
Please do. I'd love that.
So, Harry, just before this Jota red card, Son was subbed off, and Solomon came on. Were you a bit surprised at that point, or the more I've had to think about it, the more I think that, do you know what? They were deciding to drop back. They were playing a low block. They were parking the bus, and actually Son would be ineffective in those positions. I was just shocked they didn't just switch Son and Richarlison to go to a bit more width. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I personally don't think there's a reason Son came off. I was, to be honest, a little bit surprised at first. I thought Richarlison would be the one to make way. But when you think about it, that Son came into this game along with Maddison as an injury doubt. The fact that Liverpool made 5 changes, 5 fresh legs to impact the game defensively. We need to counter that because a tired Son who's played pretty much every minute so far this season isn't going to be able to break down players for Liverpool that hardly had a kick for a couple of weeks now. Do you know what I mean? Little things like that. I think Solomon, a burst of energy, burst of fresh legs, just something different, new idea, and some being protected as well. Got through this, long period of game without getting any kind of knock or injury. And Andrew wouldn't forgive himself if he kept him on and picked up a knock which had made his original injury worse. So yeah, very sensible change. I don't have a problem with any of the changes. So you think more about them, they make sense. Bringing Maddison and Son off in particular, Dave's face, to protect them, I think is reasonable. And Højbjerg was the key reason we won the game. They won't like it, but I think so.
Yeah, there were some interesting. There were some interesting changes in the game, weren't there? Like,
we made us win the game. At the end of the day, changes were at 1-1 and we won 2-1. So
yeah, no, definitely. But Wynnie, they were odd, weren't they? You know, like Højbjerg came on, Skip came on, Solomon came on for Son, Richarlison.
Ben Davies came on.
Udogie was on a yellow.
On,
It's very sensible.
Yeah, no. Personally, I mean, albeit they were a bit strange. The Maddison one is to protect him because he's obviously carrying an injury. The same with Sonny. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw. It's been going around on Twitter. The bench celebrating the goal. I don't know if you have seen that. Did you see Sonny hobbling over?
Hobbling, yeah.
He didn't look good at all. So bringing him off was obviously the right choice. He's carrying a knock. We don't want to overwork him. What would be, let's say, for instance, we take him off and we end up drawing the game. What's worse, drawing the game against Liverpool or keeping Sonny on, we win the game, but he inevitably gets injured for 2 months or something. You know what I mean? You've got to be a bit sensible with it. Got to be sensible. And I think that's what it was. I mean, the changes were a bit strange, but I think it may have been that in attack, like I said, with Madders and Son, I think we had to bring them off because, to protect them from injury. But the rest of them, I think it was because we realised that we wasn't really going to get any threat from Liverpool going forward. So we were maybe just making the changes to allow that. The people like H said, Udogie was on a yellow card. We don't need anything silly from that. They were a bit strange, but you know what? Ultimately, we ended up with the 3 points. So who am I to argue?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I felt the same against Sheffield United. We got on and win the game in the last minute. So, as you say, does it really matter? But Dave, we'll come to you because you did mention it at the start of the show. But 90 plus 6 again. Spurs decide, do you know what? We're not going to settle for a point. We're here to take all 3. And it just took pretty much the last kick of the game. Pedro Porro with the overlapping run. He slotted it across, and Joel Matip, nothing sweeter than him smashing the ball into his own net. Not to mention the fact I won £100 from it, but just the scenes were absolutely unreal.
Do you know what? Right, I was getting so frustrated watching when they were down to 9 men because what Liverpool did, they did really well. They the banks 4-4 basically. So they really overloaded the middle, put on really big defenders, big midfielders. I mean, Kanate came on, Gravenberch came on, and then they had Endo come on as well to give them a bit more defensive. What was annoying me was we just kept trying to play through the middle. We kept trying to play through the middle of them all the time. And I'm sitting there watching like, why are we not going wide? Why aren't we pushing it wide? And the one time we do actually push it wide, we get a goal from it. Whether it's an own goal or not, it's a great ball from Porro. And I was cursing him the whole game because his deliveries were shocking for that game. Awful all the time. It was like he's crossing the ball, was getting knocked out by first man, etc. So I was, like I said to you, a minute before that, I was swearing at the TV. I was like, go wide, is it? And I was just swearing. I wasn't going to say what I was saying, but yeah, a lot of expletives coming out of my mouth, as you guys know. And then it obviously changed to jubilation because we then got it wide. I thought we'd blown the chance when we broke away and Gary Neville was going, oh no, for some weird reason. When the ball got played backwards from Solomon and we ended up going back, I was like, oh, we've messed this up. We're not going to get a chance. And then quick thinking got Porro in, whipped in it's a really dangerous ball. If Matip doesn't touch that, Veliz scores at the back post. Yeah. It's that simple. So, it was interesting. It was, like I said, it was good. They played, but it's really, really, you got to give credit to Liverpool. I don't like doing it, but they were solid. Their team unity was excellent. They defended for each other. They left everything out on the pitch. But when you come up against this Tottenham team, doesn't matter how long you keep going, we're going to get there in the end.
Exactly. The mentality from this team under Ange is something absolutely special. But anyway. we move. Quickly talk about the latest video that's coming out probably on Tuesday this week. Today I had an interview with Joe, who's a crypto expert from Nephos, who we discussed the partnership with Socios and the impact that will have on Spurs and Spurs fans. And, we talk very basics of cryptocurrency, all the way up to like kind of decision making that can be made via the fan tokens and, pluses and negatives on that. So that'll be out Tuesday. So, if you're new, make sure you're hitting that notification bell so that when the video comes out, you can watch that. But let's get into some fun times, people. Let's get into some fun times. I'm going to save the score predictor table.
Oh,
exactly.
Why?
I just like the tease, just a big tease. Let's move on to FPL. And we will talk some FPL. So, I'll run you through where everyone is in the league. Looks like Brainy Paul is starting to pull away at the top of the FPL league with 455 points.
I'm trying.
Winnie's not too far behind.
I'm trying.
438. And then Jack Johnson on at 437. Big Dave, 421, sitting in fourth. And then myself in sixth, 406 points. Harry Scarf in eighth, 398. And Callum Stubbs.
Hang on, let me just scroll down so I can see Callum.
Still in last place.
Oh, there he is.
But 301, only 33 points behind.
Do you know what? I was actually quite gutted with FPL. I saw something last season about the person who finished last in the group had to go on a date with a cardboard cutout. I really wish we would have done that. I mean, I'm happy to introduce it if anybody else is.
Yeah, go for it.
I think we definitely should.
No.
I'd
do it just because you get free food. I don't turn down free food, mate.
We'll spare you this year, Callum. We'll spare you this year, mate.
Yeah, definitely. You did join a week late, so we're giving you that. But moving on to the most important part of the show, and that's the FPL Predictor League. So we'll go through the score predictions that everybody had. So here's a little video for you all. I predicted 2-1 Spurs. Winnie predicted 1-1 draw.
So
Dave predicted 2-2. Callum 2-2. And Harry Scarf also predicted 2-1. So Winnie, Dave, and Callum got 0 points. Myself and Harry, myself with another correct score, got 3 points, which leaves the table looking like this, with Harry Scarf no longer at the bottom. I'm on 11 points. Winnie and I are battling out at the top of the league. Yeah. Dave and Harry now have 6. Callum, there's a running theme here, lad. Last place on 3 points. What do I say, Harry? Sorry, Callum, though. Literally, that is for the fact that you decided to predict that Arsenal would beat Spurs in the North London derby.
Yeah, that's your own fault.
Yeah, it's your own fault, really.
Yeah.
It's the consequences of your own actions, my friend. But we'll get on to next week's score predictions, and they could be a little bit interesting as we preview the match against Luton Town away. 12:30 kickoff, early kickoff. You know what they say, never back the early kickoff on a Saturday. It's gonna be an interesting one, right? Week ago, we could have sat here and said, "Well, absolutely hammer them, put 5, 6, 7 past them." They did get their first 3 points beating Everton this weekend, and so you never know. With the tails high, anything could happen. But Winnie, give us your thoughts on Luton Town. It's difficult to really sit there and digest and go into the game in too much detail because you're a Championship club last season, never really been in the Premier League for many years.
Of course, yeah.
What are your thoughts about going to their ground early kickoff?
I absolutely hate early kickoffs. Absolutely hate them. Not only because there's a curse, you usually find the team that should win doesn't win, as you say, the curse of the early kickoff. But you know what? It's just got the potential to just ruin your weekend before it's even started. Look, you normally see with a newly promoted side that they start quite quick. They get a couple of wins under their belt, but Luton just seem to be the opposite. They've been very, very average. what I expected, to be honest. They didn't really, they came up, but they didn't really invest in any quality from what I can remember. So the results are showing, and like you say, that they're coming off the back of of what really is a good win against Everton. So I would like to think that we can beat them, but I also feel that there will be a few changes which could halt any momentum that we have at the moment. But yeah, like you say, it's let's be honest, it's a bit of a dump in at the stadium. As much credit as I can give them, the ground is a shithole. So it's going to be a bit of an atmosphere for the players and the fans, and I'm sure the fans that are going, travelling, will be in great support, as they always are when we travel. But some of the players might not like the atmosphere and might not like the ground and everything that comes with it. So we could be in for a tricky afternoon. Yeah,
definitely. And Kallum, Wynnie did touch on that. You pretty much got to go through someone's living room to get into the stadium. But it's one of those games where on paper you should say Spurs turn this side over in the first 20 minutes and we move on, we make changes and we go on and we remain unbeaten. Your head also says this could be the side that gets rid of our unbeaten run in a classic Spurs style.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is one funny fact that I know about Luton Town. There's a little lady on the high road who charges fans to use her toilet at home. She charges them a £5 to use it on the way into the game, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And then they pay people a little bit. Everyone. Well, yeah,
I've been nicking a toilet roll for a £5, mate.
It's just one of them where you literally just know that if our season's going to be undone, it'd have to be at somewhere as horrible as Luton. I mean, it's such a hard one to tell because they've come off the back of a win against Everton. They've probably got their backs up, but like Wynnie said, they're still adjusting. They're still trying to work out where they actually are. And I think when I was speaking in the week, I said that literally they're about 3 years ahead of their actual timeline of where they want to be. They expected to have their stadium finished in 2026. They don't expect to be playing in the Premier League now. So they're probably out for a big scout, but I would hope that they actually try and play against us and not do what Sheffield United did and do that poxy low block rubbish. Actually give us a game, do something for their fans and all that, because for them to have a big club like Spurs and all the other top six go there, they're going to be loving it one way or another. So play a game of football and don't play a load of bollocks and sit with 10 men behind the ball.
You sound like Jurgen Klopp now. Jesus Christ. You'll be saying that when they beat us. But anyway, Dave, what are your thoughts on the Luton game? Are you sitting there?
I'm going to be bullish, mate. We're going to absolutely batter them. I don't see it as a banana skin. I think we're absolutely going to batter them. So, they got to win against Everton, but other than that, they are shit. They are god awful. Have you watched any of their games this season?
Yeah.
They are terrible. I don't know how they're in the Premier League. They spent all their money on building a new stand so they can actually play football games in the Premier League. That's why they didn't bring any transfers in. But, it's a horrible place, horrible ground. It's like Luke said, you've got to go through someone's lounge to get there. You go up them stupid little steps in, to try and go into the stand. You're looking over someone's back garden. It's a dump. So as far as I'm concerned, we're going to batter them. It's going to be probably 3-0. I can't see him even laying a glove on us. I don't care about early kickoffs. If you were talking to me last season, I'd have been worried, banana skin or whatnot. But different era under Ange, different mentality, and Luton need to get bumping.
Who's changed Dave? Someone's taking the old Dave away.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving this, Dave, by the way.
I know,
whoever you are, you can stay here forever.
Dave's going to go ransack that poor person's lounge next Saturday. So
I'm nicking that woman's toilet roll, mate. I told you.
If you're paying a £5, you're getting your money's worth, aren't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is anyone actually going to the game at all? or
No, I don't want to
not?
go that dump, mate. Luton's a shithole.
No.
Sorry if you're from Luton, but it is an absolute dump.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
issued that apology because otherwise you're going to be the most wanted man in Luton. Probably.
It is a dump. Like even people that live in Luton say the same thing. So you know, it is a dump. I don't think you want to go there.
I literally
And also,
ran.
I've just got to say one thing. The reason I say that is because I lived in Watford. My daughter's actually from Watford, and I don't know if you know Watford-Luton rivalry. So I've got to say Luton's a shithole.
Watford's not much bloody better, to be honest, mate.
No, it's also a shithole.
Oh. Anyway, H, what are you saying? Are you as bullish as Dave? Are you confident?
I wish I could be. If you'd asked me last night, absolutely. I'm going to be a massive hypocrite here, jumping up and down for the majority of the evening last night to the point where I lost my voice and hardly got any sleep, to the point where I think Luton will sadly be a potential banana skin. I think it has everything about it. I mean, I'm thinking of the old Tottenham mentality, so I could be wrong. Lunchtime kickoff, if we win, we go top of the league. How many times did we say that last season and failed to deliver that? I can see Tim Krul be given his debut. I think Luton come on the back of that with a win. I think they're part of the bus counter-attack. I think we're really going to struggle to break them down. I hate to say it, but I think we're in for a really frustrating game. I just hope that we come out the game with something, ideally a win. Yeah, Dave, they're not fantastic. They haven't spent a lot of money on transfers. I thought they gave Chelsea a game, but everyone seems to be giving Chelsea a game at the moment. Partly take Carlton Morris out of the team, and that team doesn't score. But
Morris is a League One striker at best, anyway.
Yeah, he barely scores himself.
I think he's Premier League worthy. I think he can prove himself this season. We'll come back to this. Same with Richarlison. He'll be apologising for the season, maybe.
It's all right. You could put in Richarlison and Darren Bent in the same bloody sentence at the moment.
Richarlison's a lot better. But yeah, Luton has the potential to be, sadly, that banana skin. I think they'll be up for it. Be the best atmosphere they've had all season. Like I say, come on the back of a win. I shouldn't be dreading it, but I'm tempted to take the Spurs players out of the fantasy team. I don't think we're getting a result.
Yeah, fair enough. I was after you managed to claw yourself off the bottom of the predictor table. I feel like you're about to shoot yourself back to bottom again.
Yeah,
That's me, Luke.
What are you saying then, Luke? Come on, let's hear it from you. Are you with me, or are you with these? Are you with these little negative Nellies?
I'm definitely not negative. No, definitely not. Look,
you haven't heard my score yet, Dave.
I do think that it could be a tough game for us, just in the fact of how terrible the place is. Not Luton. I'm not going to get myself banned from Luton, but the ground. I mean, when you're playing last week at our stadium in the facilities we've got, and you're coming to that ground, it's got to be slightly more difficult for you. I think we win 100%. Like, me, I'm not going for a loss. Fuck that. I don't think I'll go for a loss all season. But I don't, I think I'll put my thoughts on that. I think Dave's going to go 5-0. I think Harry's going to go 1-0 Luton. They're the kind of vibes that I'm getting.
I've already given my score, mate. You missed it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
3-0.
3-0.
3-0. So there we go. I got it wrong and I wasn't even listening.
What am I going to go for then, Luke? As well, you think everyone else is?
2-0 Spurs.
2-0 Spurs?
Yeah.
What about me?
You'll probably go for a 1-1 draw or something, Kallum. You used to be in bottom, isn't
No, let's not ruin this for everyone. Not ruin this for everyone. Everyone get in the chat right now. Get your score predictions in, and we'll read them all out, as many as we can get through. Barney's already coming with a 1-1 draw. Johnny has said I'll go to the classic 3-1 to Spurs, but I was very close to go with Dave 18-0. So everybody else is watching, get your score predictions in, and we'll read them all out. So Dave, you've gone for a 3-0 Spurs win.
I have.
Harry, I'll come to you next.
I don't want to be negative. If I'm being honest, I would go with a narrow loss. But I'm going to say we get something out of the game. We'll go 1-1 draw. Trying to be positive.
I think we should take his first answer. His first answer was a narrow
No.
loss.
That's what he said. His first answer, wasn't it? That's what he chose.
No, it's a narrow loss. I didn't say 1-0.
You know what? Harry's lucky that he didn't say any numbers in that narrow loss.
I nearly did. I thought about it.
Yeah, and Thomas has said, I can see 0-0, but mine is 3-1 Luton. Just kidding, 3-1 Spurs. Winnie, we'll come to you next.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Spurs win.
2-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Sorry,
hope you're right. I hope you're all right, by the way.
Yeah, I think that there's a potential banana skin there, and I think there will be periods of the game where it looks that way. But I think I will, our quality will shine through. Midas will pick some gaps. Sonny will, have a couple of breaks, couple of shots, and I think we'll score a couple in the end.
Yeah, I think the test will be if we can get a goal early. I think if we get a goal early, they have to come out.
That's when it's,
yeah, definitely. Callum, what are you saying?
5-1 Spurs.
Watch him be spot on that one.
I've just gone back through a load of their results, and the best team they've played is Brighton, and they lost 4-1 to them. So, yeah, I'm going to go. We've got to top what Brighton have done based on how they were yesterday against Villa. So, yeah, 5-1, mate. I've got to be positive about this one. Keep them down at the bottom of the league and then keep them somewhere in Hertfordshire where we don't want them.
Jay has gone 4-0 Spurs. Kirk has gone 2-2 draw. You can clearly see he's a fucking United fan. And do you know what? I was going to go 3-0, but I like to keep things interesting. So I'm going to one-up you, Dave. I'm going to go 4-0 Spurs.
Oh.
He's going to cry if it's 3-0, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do you know what? I nearly changed my score last week because I don't like to go same as other people. And Harry said 2-1.
She had off.
And I was going to change the score, but
I wish you had as well.
I don't think I don't think anyone's going to get a correct score this week. I genuinely think that you could name any number of scores and you never know what might happen. But let's sit here this time next week and hope that we see another win for Spurs, another unbeaten game. But that kind of wraps us up for today. But I did want to talk very quickly about Mr. Harry Scarf. So Harry has made it to the top 10 in the podcast award in the category of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Award at the Football Content Awards. So it's very important that you vote for Harry. You can go on to his Twitter page, HarryScarf22, and you can find all the links to be able to vote for him in that category. Make sure you vote for him in that category, and I don't know if you can vote in any others, but make sure you don't. And make sure we get Harry to win that award because you're doing amazing things, H, and we're all really proud of you. So,
oh, thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Anyway, might as well start with you, mate, and let everyone know how they can find you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, if you want to follow me, you can there, HarryScarf22. If you want to vote for me, it is my pinned tweet. Don't forget to obviously follow the podcast because lots of people watch, but they don't subscribe. Now's the time to change that. Playing some good stuff. It's the perfect time to listen to Spurs podcasts, shows discussing Tottenham. If you want to subscribe to my channel, Scarfy Spurs Talk, you can. I should remember what guests I've got on Monday, but I'm going to be honest, I don't. But I've got a show this Monday. I've got 2 or 3 guests on. Have a rough idea.
But not going to win an award. What?
Well, I know, right?
We're not winning anything anytime soon, are we?
Oh, you never know. But no, that's why I probably didn't get the best content award or the best podcast. There you go. But no, I'm looking forward to it. And I've got James Black on, I think, in a couple of weeks. I do remember that. So yeah, that'd be good. So thank you very much for having me on again. I hope we obviously next time we come on, we speak about a convincing win against Luton or a win against Luton. I'd love to be bottom of the table again if it means we've won. I'm happy to accept that. And yeah, hopefully he can climb up that FPA table, overtake Luke again. I've already made 3 changes, taken 9 points away. Because I get fed up with the team every now and then. I change it too often. I'm already considering using the bench boost. That'll be the last one I've got left. I've used everything else. That and triple captain.
Jesus Christ, that's early.
Yeah. I know, right? I can't stand it.
I've used wildcard, does it?
I've not used anything.
I've already used wildcard. It didn't work.
I don't even remember my password, so God knows.
Reset it.
Anyway.
Oh, that's
it. How can everyone find you, buddy?
Is that me?
Who was that?
Dave.
Me.
Yeah.
Park Lane Pod Dave I'm active on there. I'm active on the Park Lane Pod channel as well. But any Liverpool fans want to cry in my DMs, they are open. I'm more than happy to drink up your tears some more. I hope you're all having a really crappy weekend because I'm having a great one. But yeah, I'll see you here next week.
Amazing. Winnie?
Yeah, Winnie991 on Twitter, and obviously the Park Lane Twitter. But yeah, I
Looking forward to your controversial tweet on a Monday morning this Monday.
I missed it last Monday. Yeah, I was a bit busy at work, and it kind of kept me a little bit occupied. But yeah, you know what? I'll get one out tomorrow.
I've got some ideas, Winnie. We'll have a back and forth.
Yeah, yes, I like that, mate. We'll converse off air, Dave, and we'll conjure up a nice little controversial tweet to send out.
Start rattling some.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate everyone to go ahead and vote for Harry. You know, it's a massive thing for him, and it is for us personally, because obviously he's our friend and our co-host. So definitely go over and give him a vote.
Thank you, Winnie.
Very wholesome. I like it. Kallum, how can everyone find you?
Just a quick side. You're an arse. You're an arse.
Find him at the FPL table or the bottom of the property table. That's where you can find Kallum.
Anyway, sorry, go on, Kallum.
Hey, you're horrible. Leave me alone. I have just received a message from Luton Town Council saying I am banned from there for the foreseeable future as well. Yeah, I really don't care. Yeah, so it's at Callum Stubbs 97. As always, love being on here, and yes, I am glad to be back after missing last week's show, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
I was on.
Next week, you won't blow our ears off with your microphones. Bloody loud this week, man.
I've got my headphones in, mate. So.
Oh, that's it. No, two.
Alan, I've just turned my phone upside down. You're top of the league, mate.
One for you, and one for everyone else.
He's going to be resetting his password now, trying to figure out how to catch up. You watch.
I'm just going to go and cry somewhere. Just easier.
With the Liverpool.
Brilliant. And, yeah, and if you want to follow me, you can, Luke_Park Lane on Twitter, but more importantly, it's at Park Lane Pod on all forms of social media.
Subscribe to the channel.
Exactly, at Park Lane Podcast on YouTube. And just go hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, do all that good stuff for us. And if you're listening on any podcast platform, you need to leave us a 5-star review. And just keep watching, because last week we hit over 1,000 plays on podcast platforms. So it's absolutely brilliant. Apple Podcasts are still steaming ahead of Spotify. So if you're interested in any leagues, then Callum's at the bottom of that one as well, weirdly. But
no surprise there.
Anyway,
he's had enough now. Let's leave him alone.
Exactly. Anyway, we will see you all next week. Don't
Go
forget
play your golf, you boring bastard. Go play your golf.
Don't forget to check out the latest video on Tuesday where we talk about the partnership with Socios. And also don't forget to check out on Thursday we'll be releasing the Luton Town preview. So make sure you get the views in, likes, and all the rest of it. But until next time, a big come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.